Fox 10 Extra News at 7 starts now.
Both presidential candidates facing criticism. The VP speaking with Fox News, Donald Trump claiming to be the father of IVF. Details of both interviews coming up. And a highly contentious election. Several surveys show that the election is fueling our anxiety. Details about what therapists are hearing. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Ellen McNamara. Investigations right now underway following an aggressive arrest causing national outcry. Phoenix police say that the man bit and swung at them, while the man's attorney says he's deaf and has cerebral palsy. So because he couldn't hear what the Phoenix police were asking him to do, he didn't know what they were asking him. Fox 10's Lauren Clark has more and explains how the city leaders are now responding.
Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego and several city council members called this incident very disturbing and said investigations are underway by both Professional Standards Bureau and Phoenix's Force Evaluation Review Unit. Now, this video shows an August 19th arrest made off of Indian School and 19th Street. We were unable to talk to the attorney today, but do expect to do so tomorrow. However, we did get both the video and police reports.
It's an encounter that's sparking outrage.
Hey, buddy, stop where you're at. Have a seat.
Here's a look again from two angles: the officer's body camera and store surveillance footage. On the left, you see a man later identified as 34-year-old Tyrone McAlpin walking, looking down at his phone. A cop car approaches. On the right, you see the door open after giving orders to stop. Within moments, the officer puts his hands on McAlpin and punches are thrown in both directions. Then a third angle as a second officer arrives. His camera is obstructed. He later tells another cop that it flew off. Cameras capture repeated punches and tasers.
Hands behind your back! Hands behind your back!
A woman later shows up, identifying herself as McAlpin's wife. She explains why he didn't follow the officer's commands.
What kind of disabilities do you have?
He's deaf and he's got cerebral palsy.
How is he deaf if you've been on the phone?
Because I know sign language, that's why. I signed to him.
Multiple cop cars and paramedics later arrive. One officer tells them he's injured. The second officer also reported a swelling hand in the police report, which also accused McAlpin of repeatedly swinging at officers and leaving a bite mark. According to that document, it all began when officers were called to a gas station with reports of a fight. A man identified McAlpin as his attacker from across the street.
We're saying that's the guy that's
right there with the backwards hat on. Yep.
That's when officers say they pursued McAlpin in their vehicles. Police documents state gas station employees did not witness any fight, and no angles from the security cameras there captured any punches thrown. McAlpin has not been charged with assaulting the man at the gas station. He is, however, facing charges of aggravated assault against an officer, which is a felony.
Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell said that she will personally review the video and the file here. We also reached out to Phoenix Police with several questions. We have not heard back yet, but we will give you an update if they do respond. Reporting here in the control room, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
We just got a statement from Interim Chief of Police, Michael Sullivan, and it reads in part that there are many who are concerned after seeing the video of the interaction with a man that they later learned was disabled. I recognize the video is disturbing and is raising a lot of questions. I want to assure the community that we will get answers to those questions. You can read that full statement on our website. Late today, Vice President Kamala Harris sat down for an interview with Fox News. She and Brett Baer talked about her plans for the country and the campaign so far.
Oh, you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
As you heard, the half-hour interview was at times combative. They talked about the border, the economy, and she pointed out why many who once worked in the Trump administration have endorsed her. Earlier today, also on Fox, Donald Trump participated in a town hall with women in Georgia. Many were Republican women, and one woman asked about in vitro fertilization, or IVF, an important topic because for a time it was completely outlawed in Alabama by their state Supreme Court.
Oh, I want to talk about IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF, so I want to hear this question. And we really are the party for IVF. We want fertilization, and it's all the way. And the Democrats tried to attack us on it, and we're out there on IVF even more than them. So we're totally in favor of it.
And while he said he is the father of IVF, he also admitted that he didn't know what IVF was until earlier in the year and until Alabama Senator Katie Britt called him about the issue in Alabama. Today, Senate candidate Ruben Gallego voted early. He talked about the large 2-page ballot and why he wanted to vote early.
It is intimidating. I think it's important that everyone sit down and take their time to vote and do it early, because on election day you don't want to be searching around for your ballot. Make sure you get both of them in there, sign it, seal it, and drop it off.
And a new announcement from the White House. President Joe Biden is going to be coming to Arizona. He will be here next week, October 24th and 25th. So far, no details have come out, but as soon as we learn more, we will let you know. And be sure to sound off in our Battleground poll question for the week. Scan the QR code to weigh in. And then you can watch Fox's political show Battleground every weeknight at 7:30 right here following our newscast. In the swing state of Georgia, they have already had record turnout in just 2 days of early voting, more than 500,000 people. And while the state of Pennsylvania has the most electoral votes out of all the battleground states, not far behind is Georgia. And all across Pennsylvania, events continue to be held there by both campaigns. Both J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, they were there today rallying support.
Pennsylvania and a few other states, it's really tight. And we have to get so many votes that whatever crap the Democrats pull, we are going to overwhelm their BS, and we're going to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States.
We cannot hope we beat Donald Trump. We cannot hope we restore Roe versus Wade. We cannot hope that unions grow in this country. We have to make a plan to do it, and it starts with voting.
Polls are tight in Pennsylvania, with most showing a margin of less than 1%. Vice President Harris was also holding events in Pennsylvania before her Fox News interview, while Trump was there the day before. 4 more states begin early voting today: Rhode Island, Iowa, Kansas, and Tennessee. And here in Arizona, early voting already underway. Most ballots have already been mailed out. Early voting locations, they're also open around our state if you want to vote in person, just like Ruben Gallego did. You saw that video there. The election just 20 days away, and many are feeling the pressure between being bombarded with TV ads, maybe fighting with family and friends about it. Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez says that therapists around the valley, they're hearing more about people's election anxiety.
Driving through the intersection of 24th Street and East Lincoln summarizes what it looks like to go through an election in the swing state of Arizona in 2024. There are more reports that people feel anxiety, stress, nervousness, even anger. And when you drive through here, you can understand why.
Political messaging in the Valley area is at an all-time high. There's campaign signs on busy street corners.
I think it's disgusting. It's unbelievable. It's a waste of paper.
I don't like them. TV ads in between your favorite shows.
Kamala lied.
Donald Trump is too big a risk for America.
they're trying to slander one foot or the other, telling them you're good, you're bad. You don't know who to say who's good or bad. You can't judge them because you don't actually know them.
Candidates are sending emails and text messages, and some voters in Arizona aren't just annoyed, but angry and anxious, ready for the 2024 election to just be over already.
There's always stress with change. Nobody likes that.
According to a survey conducted by Boston University, many Americans, but especially Gen X, baby boomers, and the silent generation, reported the upcoming election made them feel nervous.
The reality that we're going to face on November 6th seems to be really up in the air.
Therapists say they're seeing the anxiety walk into their office every day as clients rehash arguments they're having with friends and family or retell experiences they believe to be election related.
I'm seeing more domestic violence. I even have one client who's Black who experienced a hate crime downtown Phoenix.
Experts say the issue with this election and those recently passed is the sense the stakes are too high. There's international war, extreme weather events, rising costs.
We don't know what we're going to do. Prices with gas are $4. Prices with food are $4 for bread, $5 for milk, $5 for eggs, $20 for meats. You have to have $100 in the store just to eat for the first 2 days of your house.
And the instances of emotionally charged and toxic campaigns don't help.
I would also remind people this is one election and a host of many others to come, and history has dictated we will have more. So that if you can reframe the outcome of this and not predict the end of the world, and instead realize that we're in this for the long haul.
Candidates have up to 10 days after the election to remove all of these signs. There are 19 days until the election, which means 29 days until our streets, intersections, and the level of political anxiety out there go back down to normal. Hopefully. In Phoenix, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 10 News.
Idaho is ramping up the protocol now for their execution chamber after a failed lethal injection attempt that happened earlier in the year. The state will now use veins that are deeper under the skin in the groin, neck, or chest if they're going to be executing someone on death row. They will be able to establish IV lines in the deeper tissue if initial attempts fail. This follows a failed attempt to execute that man, 74-year-old Thomas Eugene Creech. He was supposed to be put to death back in February. He pleaded guilty to murder in the 1970s, making him the longest serving death row inmate in the state of Idaho. Recovery is continuing in Florida following 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks. Coming up, the fight in Washington to fund more help in that cleanup. And a training goes horribly wrong with a fighter jet in Washington state. Details as the search for the missing crew members is continuing.